So on the hands-on GREE FLEXX installation and troubleshooting, which is a very popular video, you should totally check that one out. Mooch91 says, can you speak to control strategy on the condensing units? Despite having inverter technology, it seems that these ramp up to max output unit until thermostat is satisfied and they shut off. It's awesome to see 110 degree leaving there, but at the same time, it's crazy to see the condenser pulling 32 amps, 4 to 5 ton. Thought there would be some kind of modulation to achieve a more moderate leaving air temp, trying to understand the best settings when commissioning for efficiency, lower airflow and compressor speeds, longer run times, or higher airflow and compressor speed, shorter run times. Okay. So in relation to the FLEXX unit, seeing it ramp down as it reaches set point, for example. So, based on some of the other information that we give in, related to our FLEXX, there is no way for it to know, right, how close it is to set point. So it doesn't ramp up to its max. It may ramp up to its max, but what it's effectively ramping up to is its capacity. Like when it runs the capacity calculation, it effectively is going to be running at 4 tons or 5 tons at those temperatures and at that airflow. So that is indeed what you will see. But since that is a single stage in terms of 24 volt controls, it just knows that it needs to run. So there's a function of time of it ramping up, but once it does ramp up, it will likely stay at that same speed if those conditions remain the same.
Well, I agree with you, and that's why we've said like MultiPRO is fully communicating system. Now it actually sees the room temperature inside. It knows what the set point is, so it can communicate that back to the outdoor board, which is your main board that's controlling operation. And the whole thing that it's doing there is same with the mini split. Now it knows how far away it is, and the machine's going to do everything it can to slow down and not shut off and maintain temperature. So you can't get that when you're taking an inverter driven unit and 24 volt control on it, because now you've lost that set point.
Right.
So the communicating systems where it can see the indoor set point versus coil temp versus outdoor temp is going to be the more efficient system when it comes to an inverter driven unit.
Right. No, I don't know what else to add to that. Yeah, I mean, if you're wanting the fully modulating capability, no matter what brand you choose, if you're wanting that fully modulating capability, it's going to have to be a communicating system. There is only so much that you can do with a couple of signal wires. I mean, you can, you could have a Y1, Y2 type setup with some systems, and that's going to slow it down. Does it slow it down as much as it ought to? No, of course not. And if I've seen attempts at modulating systems like that using like a time, like it runs at a max speed for 30 minutes and slows back down, that kind of thing. You know who complains about that? Customers. So now we're not getting 110 output. It still hasn't reached its set point, but it slows down for no reason at all, And if somebody's got a little bit of a chill, they're monitoring it as best as a homeowner can. So yeah, in the cases of wanting the very best in efficiency, the very best in operational capability, we do have an option that would be, above like a FLEXX system, and that would be our MultiPRO system. Anybody else?
Just one last thing. So the FLEXX R32, when it is being sold, if you use the GREE controller, that system's capable of doing 24 volt or the GREE controller. If you want better operation of that unit, use the GREE controller.
Right.